Oh, this just is the worst kit in the league. Right, morning fellas, welcome back to another Villa on Tour video that has the possibility to be one of the most controversial ones I've done in a long time. Now, at the start of the season, you always see these videos on YouTube ranking kits, ranking stadiums, all that sort of stuff. So I thought I'd jump on the bandwagon and rank every single one of the new 20 Premier League clubs' new home kits. Now, if you don't like what I'm going to say about your club, whatever, don't have a go at me. It's just my opinion, and you can leave yours in the comments as well. I really don't mind. But yeah, I think I'm going to go through each one, talk about it a little bit, and there's some awful ones in there, so I'll come to them. But yeah, without further ado, if you do want to enjoy this video, don't forget to drop a like on it, subscribe if you haven't already. And without further ado, let's rank some of these kits. I'm going to go in alphabetical order, so what better place to start than Arsenal? I think it's very simple but effective. I like the fact there's no collar on there. I think there was last season. It's nice and smart. Adidas again. I think they've had Adidas for a while now. I think their away one's a lot better. I think the away one is yellow and it's based on a retro kit that they had back in the 90s, and I like the away one a lot. The home one though, I think is one of the best in the league. Which is not great for the video because I think it's all downhill from now, but I think it's very simple, it's very effective, the collar's nice. So for each kit, I'm just going to give it a sort of grade. So if I had to give Arsenal one, I think I'd give it an A. Very nice kit.
Looks fresh, bro.
Now on to Villa's home kit. Now, unfortunately, it's probably not as nice as last year with the Luke Roper designing it last year, but this year it's not too bad. I think it's fairly simple. Last year there was the 2 shades of claret on the kit, but this year it's just the one. Last year as well we had the claret sleeves, but this year we're back to the sky blue sleeves. It's the right shade of claret because we've seen in the past that the claret has been messed about, but it's the right colour this year. The sponsor isn't amazing. I think it could be worse, but I think it blends in better on the away shirt when it's claret. But the big gold W isn't amazing, but I think it could be worse. It's a safe kit. I've seen worse, but it's simple but effective, I think. If I had to rank it, I'd probably give it a B, mid-range sort of kit. On to Bournemouth now, and it's not really too different to last year's, to be fair. I think the sponsor blends in well with the red and black. It's just nothing special. It's just red and black, the standard colours of Bournemouth, but it hasn't really changed much. So I'm going to give it a B, nice and simple, same as Villa. It's nothing special. I'm going to move on to Brighton and Hove Albion now, and their kit's pretty boring. I think there's only so much you can do with like a striped blue and white kit, but you know, all they've done is realistically made the stripes a little bit darker and just made more stripes. Do you know what I mean? Like the sponsor, the Nike tick as well has gone from red to yellow, so that's a massive difference. But I don't think it's anything special. I think it's one of the worst kits so far. It's not awful. Like there's worse kits to come in this video. Don't worry about that. But I don't think it's anything special. So that's why I give it a C+. On to Burnley now, and again another fairly simple kit. It looks like Villa's, to be fair, but the sponsor on it's better than last year's. I think last year's sponsors on Burnley's kit didn't really fit in, but this year the white Chinese writing isn't too bad. I think it's not brilliant, but there's worse sponsors to come, don't worry about that. But yeah, the Chinese sponsor on the sleeve as well isn't brilliant. I think they went from Umbro to Puma. It's not brilliant. I'd probably give it a C-. That might be a little bit harsh, but yeah, it's nothing special. Crystal Palace is next, and I don't actually mind this kit. Last year they had a sort of yellow trim on their kit, which I didn't mind. I think it looked quite well. It blended downwards towards the bottom of the kit as well, but this year they've changed to a sort of white trim instead. I think the white lines down the middle of the red on the kit might be a little bit too much, but again, it's a very nice kit. I think last year there was a little bit too much going on the kit, but it was a very nice kit. This year, fairly similar, but it's okay. I'd give it a nice solid B. This could get a lot of hate, but Chelsea, this season's kit, nah, not a fan. It's pretty much exactly the same as last year's, but this year they've got some dodgy pattern going on. Like, I did a bit of research, and apparently it's meant to symbolise Stamford Bridge, but if you zoom in on it, does it really? So if you say to someone that maybe isn't a football fan, like, what does this pattern represent? They're not really going to say a football stadium. Like, it's not brilliant. I miss the Adidas Chelsea shirts with like Samsung across the middle. That was quite classic to me. But yeah, this is pretty bad. I think it's quite funny that Eden Hazard was the face of the new kit release because he's gone to Real Madrid. But yeah, it's not a fantastic kit. I think it's one of the worst so far, if not the worst so far. So I'm going to give it a pretty harsh D. But it's bad. It's poor. Everton up next, and I don't actually mind this kit. When I saw it for the first time, I thought it looked a little bit like a training kit, but I've seen it a lot more and it does look quite nice. They've got the different shades of blue sort of pattern towards the top of the shirt, but it's simple, effective. The only thing that lets it down is the shirt sponsor, Angry Birds. It's not brilliant. I think there's better sponsors out there, but it's quite funny. But overall, I think it's a really, really nice shirt. One of the nicest we've had so far, so if I had to give it a grade, I think I'd give it a B+. Leicester City up next, and it's a nice kit. I think you can't really go wrong with this kit. I think the gold Adidas trim down the arms is nice. If you actually look closely as well, the detail on it is quite nice. That it's sort of like a different coloured blue checkered on there, so I think that's a really, really good design. But it's simple, the sponsor fits in, and yeah, I think it's a fairly simple but effective shirt. It works well. If I had to give it a grade, I think it's nothing special, but it is good to look at, so I'd give it a B, nice solid B. Liverpool up next, and for me, I think this is one of the nicest shirts in the league as well. I think it's up there with Arsenal. I'm not sure whether, I probably wouldn't say it's as nice as Arsenal, but it's very, very good. I don't think there's anything on the shoulders, so they've kept that nice and clean, but they've got the sort of white stripes going down, which looks very nice. They've got a little bit of detailing on the arms there, and the sponsored standard chartered, I think they've had that for a long time now, so it fits in, it looks natural. But yeah, I think it's one of the nicest, and it's sponsored by New Balance as well. I don't think there's anyone else sponsored by them in the Prem. Do let me know if I'm wrong by that, but yeah, I think it's a very nice shirt, up there with the best in the Premier League. So if I had to give it a grade, again, it's probably not as nice as Arsenal, but I'll probably give it an A-. Man City up next, the champions. They've gone from Nike to Puma this year. There's sort of a purple trim on this kit, which I can't really work out if I like it or not. It's a 125 years like anniversary sort of thing they've got going on. They've got the 125 under the badge, but I don't know if I like it. It's probably not as nice as last year's. I don't know if the purple and the light blue works. But apart from that, it's not too different from last year. I think there might be a sort of pattern on the chest, but it's not too easy to see. Nice and simple. If I had to give it a grade, probably a box standard B. Manchester United kit up next. I think it's better than Manchester City's kit. That's going to cause a bit of debate, but I think it is. I think the shield around the badge is quite nice. The badge is black and gold as well, so I think that sort of works well with the sponsor. It's a fairly simple kit. I think the Adidas lines on the arms, they're red as well, so it blends in. But overall, I think it works really nicely, and yeah, it's a decent kit. Like I said, I think it's better than Man City, so if I had to give it a grade, B+. Norwich up next, another recently promoted side, and I'm really torn on this kit. I think I'm 50-50 on it. I can't work out. I think they've got the gradient fade going up there, which I think is a good idea. But yeah, the sponsor fits in well with the green, but I really can't work out whether I like it or not. I don't think you could wear it casually, like out and about with some jeans. Like I don't really think that would work. But then again, I think it's quite hard to make a green and yellow kit work all the time. I think West Brom had to go with their away kit, and that's not brilliant. But yeah, I really don't know if I like it or not. Let me know in the comments if you like this Norwich kit. I really don't know. So I've been slightly harsh on it with the grade. I've given it a C+. But yeah, do let me know. Sheffield United up next, the last recently promoted side we're going to talk about. Adidas badge and the actual Sheffield United badge do look slightly far apart on this kit. I don't know whether that's just me, but the sponsor is a big red Union Jack which screams Brexit. I don't really know what that symbol is, but yeah, it's not too bad. It fits in with the red and white stripes of Sheffield United. I think the colours work well. They've got that sponsor on the sleeve as well. It's the traditional stripes of Sheffield United, but yeah, they've kept it simple. It looks okay. For that reason, I've given it a B- grade. On to Southampton. Oh, this just is the worst kit in the league. I'm sorry, Southampton fans, but what's that? They've got a black bar on the top. I don't really know what that's about. You could have just kept it red and white stripes, but they've gone for that. It doesn't fit in at all. Then they've got the black and white on the sleeves as well, which isn't brilliant. The big sponsor is a complete mess as well. It's 100% the wrong colours. A big blue sponsor on a black, red and white kit. Just doesn't work. It looks quite big as well. It really, really doesn't work. You can just tell that it really doesn't fit. There's a lot going on, and I wouldn't recommend looking at it for too long because it just hurts your brain, might give you a migraine. But I think Nathan Redmond's face sums it up. For that reason, I've given it the worst grade of the video so far, a big fat E. Sorry, Southampton. Up next is Tottenham, and I think the Tottenham kit is quite hard to sort of update every season. It's just plain white. I think it's hard to sort of design a nice fresh new one, but I think Tottenham, they've done a good job. I like what they've done around the collar with the sort of black lines there, but yeah, apart from that, it's fairly simple. It's simple, nice and sharp. I think it's effective, and for that reason I'm giving it a B+. Up next is another pretty awful kit, Newcastle United. Now I know they've gone for a sort of retro sort of theme, but it doesn't work. I think the fact the Puma logo and the Newcastle badge are in the middle is a good idea, but it's just the sponsor that lets it down. A big fat blue, sky blue sponsor. It really doesn't work. Without the sponsor, it'll be a nice shirt, but that 100% lets it down. Is it me as well? But I think the sponsor's really big on this shirt. It just really doesn't fit. If you're gonna go for a retro theme, make sure the sponsor blends in. But yeah, I think this is one of the worst. It's down there with Southampton, unfortunately, so for that reason I've given it an E grade as well. Coming to the end now, West Ham United. Now I'm not really a fan of this shirt. I've had to look at it for a while to decide whether I do like it or not, but I don't. The top half, they've gone for a sky blue sort of thing instead of the traditional blue sleeves. There's a line design on this shirt as well, the sky blue bit. It's just, it doesn't, I think they've tried too hard to make it different. I don't really think it works. The sponsor on it isn't a problem. I think it's just the colours on it don't really fit. For that reason, I've given it a C+ grade. Wolves' new kit, unfortunately, I do quite like it. They've gone back to the sort of traditional colours. Last season their kit was yellow, which didn't really seem right. But yeah, I think this is really nice and sharp. The sponsor actually fits in as well, apart from the little white ball thing, which I don't really know what that is. But yeah, I think it's a nice shirt. There's a little bit of detail on there as well. The Adidas stripes go down the side instead of along the arms, which is different. I like that. And yeah, I think it's a really nice kit. So I've given a B+, which is a decent grade, to be fair. Last and least, Watford. I like last year's kit with the stripes, the black and yellow stripes, but this year they've gone for like a quarter of the shirt being black. I don't really get that. The sponsor isn't brilliant as well. I think there's a bit of a mishmash of the red, yellow and black. There's no real like suited pattern there. It's really not a nice shirt, and for me it's down there with Newcastle and Southampton, which is why I'm going to leave a poll up there. Please vote for the worst kit, Watford, Newcastle or Southampton, or if you don't think it's any of them, leave in the comments what you think is the worst shirt. But for me, I think it's any one of them three. But yeah, that's it for the shirt rankings. Do let me know what you think of my opinions and leave your opinions in the comments as well. I'll be interested to hear what you lot are saying. Don't take it personally, this is just my opinion. Don't take it too seriously, honestly, it doesn't really matter. But without further ado, please do leave a like on the video if you have enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you at Charlton tomorrow for another pre-season game. Up the Villa.